resist saying yes, you know?
That much fun.
Can't argue with the pay, huh?
Yeah. Gerald not coming.
No.
He's in China.
Yeah.
Oh, does he
Oh,
have
did he
the
say
flu?
China? I didn't know.
Oh, well, he told me he's not in Wuhan.
He has a mask.
Too late.
Yeah.
So he's on, no.
Okay, we get started. As acting chair, I now call this meeting of the Salary Commission to order. Speakers sign up. Persons wishing to present oral testimony, if you have not already submitted your registration form to my commission aide, please do so now. Otherwise, please raise your hand to indicate your desire to speak at the time I call for additional speakers, following the testimonies of the registered speakers. Each speaker is limited to 1 minute of a presentation on all items. Each speaker may testify for him/herself and may not speak on behalf of another. When you hear the buzzer, please quickly summarize and end your testimony. Written testimonies, including the testifier's name, address, email address, and phone number, may be posted by the city clerk and available to the public on the city's DocuShare website. Cell phone and electronic devices. As a courtesy, please turn off your cell phones and other electronic devices or put them on silent mode during the meeting. Thank you. This is new. Digital minutes, as directed by the memorandum issued by the Council Chair Anderson dated July 5th, 2019, digital minutes will be utilized as the record the proceedings of this commission. These minutes will be created using an audio recording. To achieve accurate minutes, it is important that commissioners properly identify themselves upon speaking when making a motion. Therefore, I have been asked to request that all speakers please speak directly into the microphone so the recording will clearly pick up your words. Thank you. At this time, I would like to introduce the returning commissioners in attendance today. Diane Peters-Wynn.
Aloha.
Brian Tamamoto.
Present.
Kimmy Ewan.
Aloha.
And myself, Kevin Sakamoto. Jiro Takeuchi is excused. I would now like to introduce and welcome 2 new commissioners, Malia Espinda.
Good afternoon.
And Dee Wakabayashi.
Aloha.
I wish to thank all of you for your willingness to serve on the commission. Executive session. Pursuant to Hawaii Revised Statutes, Sections 92-4 and 92-5A4, and upon taking an affirmative vote to do so, the Commission may enter into executive session for the purpose of consulting with its legal counsel on questions and issues concerning its powers, duties, privileges, immunities, and liabilities in setting salaries as set forth in the Charter. May I have a motion to enter into executive session?
So move.
Second.
Commissioners, please state your names for the motions.
Brian Tamamoto.
Diane Peters-Wynn.
It has been entered into executive, it has been, wait, where am I? Sorry. That's terrible for the digital minutes. Next page. It has been moved and seconded. Are there any objections? Noting no objections from the 7 commissioners present, the Salary Commission will now recess into executive session. I call the meeting back to order. Election of officers. Pursuant to Charter Section 3-122, the Commission must elect the chair from among its members. I served as chair in 2019, but I will yield this year to anyone who would like to step up. Do we have a nomination for the officer of the chair?
Chairman Sakamoto, this is Brian Tamamoto. I'd like to nominate Kevin Sakamoto for chair. And for the record, it is a non-paid position.
Do you want Kobayashi? I second that motion.
Okay. Commissioner Tamamoto nominates Kevin Sakamoto for chair, second by Commissioner Wakabayashi. Kevin Sakamoto is nominated. Are there any further nominations? If not, nominations are closed. By acclamation, Kevin Sakamoto has been elected chair of the commission. Okay. Pursuant to commission's rules, the commission also elects a vice chair who acts as the presiding officer in the absence of the chair. Commissioner Brian Tamamoto served as vice chair in 2019. Do we have a nomination for the office of vice chair?
Chair Sakamoto, this is Diane Peters Wynn. I would like to nominate once again Tamamoto, Brian Tamamoto, for to renew his position as vice chair.
Chair Sakamoto, this is Kimi Ewan. I second that motion.
Commissioner Peters Wynn nominates Brian Tamamoto for vice chair, second by Commissioner Ewan. Brian Tamamoto is nominated. Are there any further nominations? If not, nominations are closed. By acclamation, Brian Tamamoto has been elected vice chair of the commission. Congratulations.
Thank you for your vote of confidence.
Okay. Approval of the minutes of April 16, 2019, last commission meeting. May I have a motion to approve and file the minutes of the last commission meeting, which was held on April 16, 2019?
Mr. Chair, Brian Tamamoto, I so move that we accept the minutes of the last commission meeting.
Chair, it's Malia Espinda. I second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Tamamoto, second by Commissioner Espinda. Are there any corrections? No. I should have said that earlier. Okay, noting no objections from the 7 commissioners present, the minutes have been approved as circulated. Okay. Approval of the minutes of the executive session meeting on April 16, 2019. May I have a motion to approve and file the minutes of the first executive session meeting held on April 16, 2019?
Chair Sakamoto, this is Diane Peters Wynn. I move to approve the minutes of the executive session meeting on April 16th, 2019.
Mr. Chair, Brian Tamamoto, I second the motion.
It has been moved and seconded. Are there any objections? Noting no objections from the 7 commissioners present, the minutes have been approved as circulated. Testimony from invited guests and the public. The next item is testimony from invited guests and the public. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to speak before the commission? If so, please be seated at the testifiers table and identify yourself for the record.
First of all, congratulations, Chair and Vice Chair, for serving on this commission again. We thank you. Carol Lee Kubo, Director of Human Resources with the City and County of Honolulu. We stand by our testimony that we submitted earlier through Randall, and I just wanted to summarize some of the high points of that testimony. As you know, the directors and deputies of the city work 24/7, and we have broad responsibilities to run our entire departments, whereas the EMCP managers, who are branch and division heads, are responsible for their portion of the department, not the entire department. So we testify at the ledge, we go to public hearings and address controversial and complex issues, we go to neighborhood boards, and we also go to the legislature and the city council. So Unit 13, which is what we normally based our recommendation on, they're supposed to get a 2.03% across-the-board increase on July 1st of 2020, which is coming up. And they normally get what they call a step movement, which moves them along the salary schedule every 3 years. And the step movement is equivalent to 4%. But since this commission grants salary increases annually, If you divide the 4% by 3, it equates to about 1.33%. So if you add that up, we rounded it up to 3.5%, which we feel is a fair increase to keep parity and to avoid inversion with the subordinates that we supervise. Thank you. I'll answer any questions you may have.
Commissioners, are there any questions for the testifier? Thank you, Carol.
Thank you.
The next item is the Permitted Interaction Group, otherwise referred to as the PIG, and the Sunshine Law requirements. As I understand it, a PIG consists of at the most 3 members, a number less than quorum. Establishment of a PIG requires 3 meetings. The first meeting to establish the PIG, the second meeting for the PIG to present its recommendations, and the third meeting for discussion and decision-making. If the Commission believes that a PIG may be required to do further investigation regarding the setting of the salaries of those positions stated in the Charter, the Commission may vote to form a PIG and may also vote on who should serve on the PIG if there are more than 3 volunteers. The Commission may not need to decide today if it wishes to establish a PIG. Charter Section 3-122.3 provides that the Salary Commission shall set salaries in accordance with the principles of adequate compensation for work performed and preservation of a sensible relationship with the salaries of other city employees. Do I have a motion to establish a PIG today to do research into appropriate salaries for the positions which come under the jurisdiction of the Salary Commission?
Chair Sakamoto, Kimi Yuen, I move to create a PIG for Salary Commission.
Chair Malia Spinda, I second.
It has been moved and seconded. Are there any objections? Noting no objections from the 7 commissioners present, the PIG has been established. Are there any volunteers for the PIG?
Chair Sakamoto, I would like to volunteer. Okay, excuse me. Diwa Kabayashi. I would like to serve.
Chair Sakamoto, Brian Tamamoto. I understand that one of our Commissioner, Gerald Takeuchi, is not present, but seemingly to provide some continuity, I would like to nominate Gerald Takeuchi to serve on the PIG.
Yeah, thank you.
Commissioner Chair Sakamoto, I would like to nominate Brian Tamamoto to be on the PIG.
We need a vote. Okay. Okay, let's see, where am I? Having a PIG hereby established, the PIG will be comprised of Commissioners Wakabayashi, Takeuchi, and Tamamoto. Discussion? Any other nominations? Okay. Okay, hearing none. Schedule of the next meeting. Proposed calendar for future meetings. So commissioners can refer to the calendar that is in their packet. The proposed calendar shows future meeting dates to give staff preparation time for items requiring deadlines and to reserve the meeting room. Of course, it is subject to change whenever the need arises. Keep in mind that the Salary Commission must establish salaries and salary schedules by no later than the first day of May. Furthermore, since the Commission voted to establish a PIG, at least 2 more meetings will be required. If the dates and the Commissioner's customary 1:30 start time is acceptable, we will work with this schedule. For the second meeting, February 20th, 2020 has been proposed. However, it has been brought to my attention that more time may be required for the PIG to carry out their research before making their decision. If this date is or is not acceptable, would someone like to propose a new date?
Chair Sakamoto. This is Brian Tamamoto. May I suggest that the second meeting be moved from February 20th to February 27th? That allows the PIG to have adequate time to study and review the salaries and prepare their recommendations.
Thank you, Commissioner Tamamoto. In checking the calendar, it looks like the meeting room is reserved that date. Options for that week are the 28th
Or the 24th.
or the first week of March is all clear.
First of March.
Commissioner Wakabayashi, since you're a member of the PIG, do you have any thoughts?
I am okay with the 28th as well as the following week except for the 4th.
Chair Sakamoto, this is Diane Peters-Wynn. My question is whether the time of, because it had been 1:30 before and today we're meeting at 2:30, are we looking in general at the 1:30 time frame?
Correct, 1:30.
Okay, thank you.
Are you okay with 28th? 28th seems to be a possibility.
Twenty. 28.
What?
I might have a conflict on the 28th, but
Okay.
it's up to you guys. Mine isn't set, but it might have something.
Okay. Looks like Friday, February 28, 1:30. Same location. Seems to be good for the majority. So we'll have that reflected. Okay. The meeting agenda lists the proposed date for the third meeting and public hearing as Thursday, March 19th, 2020. Are commissioners available that day?
Yes.
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 Are you?
I have a conflict. But
Okay.
I'm okay.
We'll hold it there on the for the 19th. The fourth and final meeting, are you available for Thursday, April 16th, 2020?
yes.
Seeing a head nods. Okay, the meeting schedule has been set, of course, subject to change by the chair. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Chair, Brian Tamamoto, so moved to adjourn.
Second, this is Diane Peters-Wynn.
It has been moved and seconded. Are there any objections? Noting no objections from the 7 commissioners present, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.